My name is Lily, and I'm 29. I've been married to Ryan for 5 years, and while our relationship wasn't perfect, I always thought we had a normal, quiet life. Nothing too exciting, nothing too bad. But everything changed one strange Thursday afternoon. I was working from home, just another regular day, when Ryan called me out of the blue. His voice was cold, almost detached. "I want a divorce," he said, his words sharp and final. I didn't even have the chance to ask why before he hung up on me. My hands started trembling. My mind went completely blank. We hadn't fought or argued. There had been no sign of trouble. Everything seemed fine until that moment. My heart raced in my chest. I didn't know what was happening, but deep down, I felt something was terribly wrong. It wasn't just about our marriage. It felt much bigger, much darker. Something was going on behind my back, and I needed to find out what. Just before the call, Ryan's mother, Claire, had invited me to lunch. Claire and I had always gotten along well. She was kind, caring, and we used to meet up often, especially when Ryan was busy. So I told her about the divorce call. She seemed genuinely surprised. "That's strange," she said. "Ryan told me he had a big meeting today." That didn't make sense. Why would he lie to her about where he was? Claire looked worried too. "Lately, he's been acting odd," she confided. "He's asked me for large sums of money several times, saying it's for investments, but I don't know. It doesn't add up." I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. Ryan had always made decent money. Why would he need to borrow large amounts from his mother? That was the moment I realized it wasn't just me he was keeping secrets from. He was hiding things from both of us. That night, Ryan didn't come home. No text, no call. I stayed up late, staring at the front door, hoping he would walk in and explain everything. But around 3 a.m., I finally heard the sound of the lock turning. I rushed downstairs, my heart pounding. As he stepped inside, the strong, sweet scent of perfume hit me. It wasn't the kind I wore. "Where were you?" I asked, my voice shaky. He didn't answer. "Don't start," he said dismissively, brushing past me and heading straight for the bedroom. I stood frozen in place, the smell of perfume lingering in the air. That wasn't just a casual scent. It was a warning, and he hadn't even tried to cover it up. I knew, without a doubt, that Ryan wasn't just lying to me. He was cheating, and he didn't care if I found out. But something about this felt even worse than the affair. There was something else he was hiding. The next few days felt like living with a stranger. Ryan barely spoke to me. He came home late every night, often smelling like that same perfume. He locked his phone, lied about where he'd been. And then one evening, he forgot his phone on the kitchen counter while he took a shower. My hands trembled as I picked it up. No password. I opened his messages, and there it was. Texts to a woman named Ava. Sweet messages, hotel bookings, even a photo of her wearing his shirt. My chest tightened with anger and fear. But one message sent a chill through me. She's starting to suspect. Time to move on with the plan. What plan? Who was he talking to about me? That was when I knew I had to do more than just watch from the sidelines. I needed to act fast before whatever this plan was could do any more damage. But I didn't confront him right away. Instead, I went to Claire. I needed someone on my side, someone who had also noticed that something was off. I told her everything I'd found, and her face went pale as she listened. "He told me you were cheating," she said slowly. "He said you've been saying awful things about me too." My mouth dropped open. "Claire, that's not true. You know that." She nodded, but I could see the doubt in her eyes. "I wanted to believe you, but he sounded so sure. Now I see it. He's been trying to turn us against each other." We sat in silence for a moment, and then she said, "We need to catch him together." That was the first time I didn't feel completely alone in this mess. I had someone who believed me, someone who was just as angry as I was. Claire and I came up with a plan. She invited Ryan over for lunch, pretending that she wanted to talk things through. I stayed upstairs, hidden, recording everything with my phone. At first, Ryan seemed calm and normal, but then he said something that made my blood boil. "She's unstable," he told Claire. "If something happens to me, it's her fault." Claire kept her cool. "What do you mean?" she asked. He hesitated, then added, "I'm ending it with her soon. She can't handle it." That was when I walked into the room. "What can I handle, Ryan?" His eyes widened in shock as he realized I'd heard everything. The lies, the setup, all of it. He tried to play it off, to act like nothing had changed, but it was too late. Claire stood beside me, unwavering. "Ryan, we know about Ava," she said. "We know what you've been doing." He finally dropped the act. "Fine," he muttered. "She's pregnant. That's why I need to move on." My heart sank, but I didn't cry. I didn't give him the satisfaction. You were going to frame me, I said. Make it look like I was crazy, make your mom stop trusting me, take the house, the money, everything. He didn't deny it. He just looked down at the floor. Claire's voice shook with rage. You're not the son I raised. But Ryan still didn't leave. He looked desperate. Please, he begged. I have nothing left. Neither of us felt sorry for him. This was his doing, not ours. The next day, I filed for divorce. With Claire's help, we collected all the evidence, texts, photos, voice recordings. My lawyer said we had more than enough. Ryan tried to talk to me after that, even showed up at Claire's house begging for a second chance. We shut the door in his face. He lost his job shortly after, and Ava left him too. He had burned every bridge he'd ever had. As for me, I found peace. I didn't let his lies define me. I was free, and I knew that I was better off without him. After I moved into my new place, Claire and I stayed as close as ever. We had coffee together every week, often laughing about how we had flipped the script on Ryan. I don't know where he is now, but one thing's for sure. He didn't break me. He set me free. The weeks passed, and slowly I began to breathe again. My new apartment wasn't glamorous, but it felt like a sanctuary, a place of freedom. I decorated it with things that made me happy. Soft pillows, gentle hues, and big windows that let the sunlight pour in. Claire visited often, bringing homemade cookies and small housewarming gifts. One afternoon, she showed up with a small, unmarked box. This came in the mail for you, she said. I opened it carefully, my heart racing as I saw the handwriting. It was from Ava. My hands trembled as I unfolded the letter. I wasn't expecting what I read. He lied to both of us. I didn't know what he was planning. Be careful. He's still watching you. I read the letter over and over, each word sending a chill through me. Why would Ava warn me? Had Ryan turned on her too? Or had she realized too late how dangerous he was? My thoughts raced. I texted Claire, asking her to come back, and when she arrived, I showed her the letter. She read it in silence, her face growing more serious by the second. After a long pause, she spoke, her voice full of concern. This means he's not done. He might still be trying something. I didn't want to believe it, but it made sense. Ryan had lost everything, his job, his girlfriend, his home. He was angry and he blamed me. Claire's face hardened. We need to be ready. If he tries anything, we go straight to the police. I nodded, trying to stay calm, but deep down, I knew this wasn't over. A few days later, I noticed something strange. A black car was parked across the street from my building. It wasn't unusual to see cars around, but this one was always there, with the same man inside, pretending to be on his phone. I didn't recognize him, but something about the situation felt wrong. One night, as I was heading out to get groceries, I noticed the car slowly following me. My heart started pounding. I made a sharp turn down a different street, but the car followed. I sped up, and so did it. My pulse raced as panic set in. I called Claire on speakerphone, trying to keep my voice steady. I think someone's following me. Get to a safe place, she urged, her tone sharp. I'm calling the police now. I didn't hesitate. I drove straight to a public gas station and parked under the bright lights, waiting and watching. The car passed by, then disappeared down the street. It could have been nothing, but what if it wasn't? The next day, I checked the camera Claire had helped me set up outside my building. Sure enough, the black car had been parked there for 2 nights in a row. I saved the footage and sent it to the police, along with a copy of the letter from Ava. I even included the return address, hoping Ava might confirm something. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every sound made me jump. Every shadow seemed to shift. Claire stayed on the phone with me until morning. We'll stop him, she promised. We just need to wait for him to make a mistake. 3 days later, Ava emailed me. The message was short, but carried heavy weight. That car belongs to one of Ryan's friends. He asked him to watch you. I think he wants to scare you. I showed the email to the police, and they advised me to file a formal report, which I did. A restraining order was also issued. I started changing my routine, taking different routes to work, staying in crowded places, always keeping my phone fully charged. I refused to live in fear, but I couldn't be careless. Ryan wasn't just bitter. He was dangerous now, and I wasn't going to underestimate that again. A week later, Ryan made a crucial mistake. He sent Ava a message, threatening her. He told her that if she ever spoke to me again, she'd regret it. Ava didn't back down. She took the message to the police, adding it to the growing file. That was the final piece of the puzzle. The police tracked down Ryan's last known location. His car was there, but he was nowhere to be found. However, they did find something chilling. In the trunk of his car were printed photos of me, some taken near my apartment, others zoomed in through my window. He'd been watching me, just as Ava had warned. The next day, Ryan was arrested at a motel on the outskirts of town. He didn't resist. The officers said he was calm, almost eerily so, even smiling at them. According to the officer who called me, that made it worse somehow. Like he still believed he had control over the situation. But now the law was on our side. 2 days later, Ryan stood in front of a judge. Claire and I sat in the courtroom side by side. We didn't look at him. He didn't speak. The judge ordered him to stay away from both of us permanently. The charges stuck, and Ryan was sentenced to serve time. For the first time, it felt real. It felt like justice had finally been served. Months have passed since then, and now I'm truly free. The shadows have lifted. I go for walks again, I leave my windows open, and I've even started painting, something I'd always wanted to do, but never had the chance for. Claire and I are closer than ever. We survived something dark, but we came out stronger. Ava and I exchanged one last message, a simple thank you, nothing more. We both needed to move on. Ryan's chapter in my life is officially closed. I didn't deserve what happened to me, but I'm proud of how I handled it. I didn't break. I fought back, and in the end I found peace. I found myself again,